Jesus, egwu dị mma. Butu une, butu udu, butekwe n'oyo, tegwu dị mma.
Another round of applause for Imo City Choral. Next on stage, let's make welcome Foundation Cathedral Choir from Nigeria. Foundation Cathedral Choir. Foundation Cathedral Choir from Nigeria.
Good afternoon, everyone. We are Foundation Cathedral Choir. We are here to render a choice song titled Ongokonu Geji Puta, which means we will come out victoriously. Composed by Sam Ojuku. God bless you as a lesson.
Osisi niile nke ọhịa ga-akụkwa aka ha kee.
Osisi niile nke ọhịa ga-akụkwa aka ha. Osisi niile nke ọhịa, osisi niile nke ọhịa ga-akụkwa aka ha. Ga-akụkwa aka ha. Osisi niile ga-akụkwa aka ha. Osisi niile nke ọhịa ga-akụkwa aka ha. Osisi fere ga-etolite, ga-etolite, ga-etolite. N'ọnọdụ ọgwụ, n'ọnọdụ ọgwụ, n'ọnọdụ ọgwụ, osisi fere ga-etolite, 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 ga-etolite.
Let's appreciate this choir once more. The next on stage will be Voice of the Angels Choir. Let us make welcome Voice of the Angels Choir from Nigeria.
Hello, 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 hello.
Good day, everyone. Our choice song is Zamiliza. It's an Igbo lullaby written by Dr. Sa Chuma Chukwuka. Please enjoy.
You can appreciate this choir more. Okay, before the next choir will mount the stage, let me quickly do a rundown of how this evening's choir arrangement has been made for the concert this evening. The first choir for the concert this evening is all-female choir, followed by Celestial City Choir, Backmark Choir, Soul Winners Choir, Afro Gospel Choir, Foundation Cathedral Choir, August Choral, Voice of the Angels Choir, Donadian Ensemble, Messiah Choral, Choir de Togoli Choral, Winneba Youth Choir, Pan-Africa Choir, Choral de Magnifique, Redemption Choral from Côte d'Ivoire, Capital Voice, Still Voice, and Glorious Singers. This will be the arrangement for the choir's concert this night. Now let's make welcome Togo Unity Choir on stage. Please put your hands together for them. Please, if you want to clap for them, appreciate them, please. Let's make welcome Still Voice Choral from Nigeria. Still Voice Choral. Please, on stage is Still Voice Oratory Choral from Ghana, from Nigeria. Still Voice Oratorio Choral.
Good evening, everyone. I stand on existing protocol. The choice piece for Still Voice Oratorio Choral is Teta, composed by late Professor Sam Ojukwu, meaning wake up. Thank you.
Okay, the last choir, but not the least, is Choral de Magnifique. Let's make welcome Choral de Magnifique from Nigeria.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Africa. This is Choral de la Magnifique, Nigeria. And our choice piece this evening is a Jaji written by Vincent Ezomo. A Jaji simply means 19th Creed, the 19th Creed in the Bini language of Edo State, Nigeria. Please listen and enjoy. Thank you.
Toboli, 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 Tobe Jejevielo, Toboli, Tobe Jejevielo, Toboli, Tobe Jejevielo, Toboli, Ida Fabele Samela Mulo, Tobe Jejevielo, Toboli, Adela Hobela Seona Mulo, Tobe Jejevielo, Toboli, 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 Jejevielo, Toboli, Tobe Jejevielo, Toboli.
Vito Holi, Jeje Vito Holi, Jeje Vito Holi, Jeje Vito Holi, Paji, Nera no Metia, no ye vivago, Elia Naideke, Ijao, Opa Jesu Christija, Tupomo Banabie, Noviosa, Nera Biere Boreha to swear, Osano Kosare, Awano Kaware, Osata no Kosatare, Nabie, Namaji, Mogwenera, Mea Popa, Noboe, Anaje, Ijaji.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of the competition. You will all agree with me that it is what the mixed first category. Every choir, all of them, 15 of them, have done very well. At least there is a lot of energy that has been put into the rehearsal time and so on and so forth. We will allow the judges to pass some comments over these performances.
Good evening, everybody. It has been a pleasant afternoon, evening, listening to good music and listening to choirs that have taken time to learn, to prepare for this Africa Sings Festival. It's really very, very interesting. All the choirs have done very well. All the choirs that came to this competition have won. Coming to this competition means that you have won because you are courageous. A lot of choirs, out of fear, will shy away from the competition. But those who came are courageous, and they have won. Every choir that has come here has won the competition. But then, there are a few things we have to note. Yeah, there's no how we can improve as a choir if you don't come out to competitions and festivals like this. You will remain in your enclave and think you are doing wonderfully well. It's when you come out to competitions and festivals like this that you will really get to know your position and you begin to learn from others. You see challenges and you begin to improve. If you don't come out, you may not improve. Yeah, I want to make, and here, what we are here to do is to find out your faults and point it out. We've said that all the choirs did well, but now we will tell you some of the faults we noticed in your performance. Yeah. Most choirs. I will take it possibly from a quick one from each choir. The first choir had good tone quality. What makes a good choir is the tone, the quality of the tone, the blend amongst the voices, the diction, and intonation, that is, singing in tune. The first choir was quite good balance, and good performance, and good illustration. They were able to illustrate what they are singing. But in this case, we don't need to over-illustrate or over-dance, because what we are looking for is really the art of singing, not instrumentation or dancing. Yeah, we are talking about good tone quality. In preparing, you must make sure that your choirs are producing good tone. There are tones I call harsh tone. When you are shouting from your throat, straining from your throat, and making shrill sound. Those sounds are harsh tones, and it's not really pleasing to the ear. So choirs should avoid that. Train the choir to sing, climb the high notes smoothly. You know, the head note is approached with open throat, and singing it, you don't necessarily need to shout and produce shrill sound. I've talked about, and most choirs have that fault of shouting and coming out with shrill sound. If you have ears, those sounds will be offending your ears, I must say. So if you are training, really get proper choir trainer who will tell you these things, who will help you to produce good tones. Yeah. Then I've talked about balance. The balance between soprano, alto, tenor, bass must be equal. We must hear them, unless a solo section. If not, the choirs ought to be balanced. We hear them equally. Then attack. Some of the attacks are not firm. The choirs must attack and release in a uniform style. I've talked about blend. In a choir, the one voice part is louder, really overshadowing. I think it was a tenor voice or tenor part. Yeah. Then generally, we've talked about, even a workshop was given on conducting yesterday. A lot of people do not care about learning how to conduct. Yet, marks are scored in conducting. If you are a conductor, if you're a choir director, you must take time. You must make out time to learn conducting. Ask someone to teach you conducting or read about it. People are studying conducting up to PhD level. It's an important aspect of music, conducting. If there is no need for it, there wouldn't be a conductor. But because the conductor is there to really interpret the music, bring out the music the way it should be. And this conducting is not just flinging your hand anyhow in front of the choir. It has a process. It has a process. Your downbeat has a direction. Your second beat has a direction. Third beat has a direction. And the fourth beat, that is if you are doing 4/4. If you are doing 3/4, downbeat, you have second beat has a direction. So every beat has a direction, has a stop called the ictus, where it has to bounce back. Take time, if you are a choir director, to really learn conducting. Because if you don't learn, if you come to a competition like this, there is a score for conducting, and that may, even if you sing well and you don't conduct well, it may affect your performance. That song, that set piece, which was in 6/8, I didn't see any conductor who really conducted 6/8. Some were doing 3/4, some were doing other things. The first thing you would have done is, how do we conduct this song? How do we conduct it? Which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6/8 is conducted in two ways. It's either 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If it is a slow one. In the first one, you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2. You conduct as if you are conducting a duple time. But most people, we are doing 3, 4, and we are doing other things. Um, so I advise that if you have any competition, please study the music, study also how to conduct the music. There are some roughness in the middle. Some people may start well, blend their voices, but in the middle, they stray away, they go away. They start shouting, they start well, and are performing well. At a time, they lose control, they start shouting, and they lose the blend they were going with before. So check all those things and make sure that you put yourself together before you come for competition. There's also intonation problem. Some choirs sang out of tune. You start a song in the middle, you go out of tune. And going out of tune is not acceptable in competitions. Singing out of tune. If you sing it out of tune, you won't win a competition. No matter how you think you have performed, because you went out of tune, it means it's imperfect, and you may not win the competition. Now, what causes going out of tune most of the time is that a lot of choirs shout instead of singing. Singing loud is different from shouting. A lot of choirs shout, and then when they shout, you see them going out of tune. And that spoils their performance. Another thing that causes going out of tune is instruments overshadowing the singing. A lot of instrument backing in this competition was too loud that at a stage they take over. We are here to listen to the voices, not to listen to instruments. Again, you don't over-dramatize in a choral competition. We've come to listen to music. If a drama will come at all, it's just mild one, the one that is not too noticeable. Because if you take the stage dancing, we're not judging dancing competition. That will in any way affect your performance. And yeah, the same thing I'm noticing, blend of the choir, blend, going too loud, and all those things. Now, also, sometimes some people do not perform the music as written by the composer. You start adding something. There are some songs I know here which was not properly performed. For instance, a choir that sang Teta by Samuel Juku. I know Samuel Juku deliberately wrote accompaniment for that music. But those who performed it didn't use, in fact, they annoy some of us by vamping. If somebody has purposely written an accompaniment for a song, and now you go and start vamping it. If Ojuku is here, he will not be happy. He will definitely say it's not what I wrote. And that is, if you have a problem, you can look for accompanists, but don't go on piano and start vamping what somebody has deliberately composed. By doing so, you are spoiling the work. And well, I will also allow these are some of my observations. My colleagues, then imbalance. Imbalance. I don't know how you have a choir of 11. You have, and it's supposed to be a 4-part choir. You have 7 ladies and you have 3 men. What happened? Where's the balance? The choir will never be balanced. So if you are preparing for a competition, make sure that you have a balanced choir. A choir that will have a sizable number of sopranos, altos, tenors, and basses, so that there will be a balance in rendition. And I've talked about going sharp. A lot of choirs went sharp. What do you do to reduce going sharp or going out of tune? Is by not shouting, control of your voice. If you control your voice, you will not go out of tune. Well, I want to give, you all did well. Like I said, what we are here to do is to tell you where you've gone wrong, and so that in future, you correct yourself. Everybody that has come here has won, and we encourage you to continue going for competitions. Wherever you hear there is a competition, try and prepare and go there. But again, get the rules of the competition. There are rules that are set before. Get those rules, adhere to the rules, keep to the rules strictly. So I want to thank you for coming, all the choirs. Like I said, you have won. What we are telling you is what our observations are, so that in future you will improve. I want to thank you. Who is taking, who want to? Let another person tell us what he has seen.
All right, good evening. We've been sitting down for too long, so I will not talk for more than 1 minute so that we can leave. I think that Chief has said everything already. I am more interested in composition, how to put music together. So I was listening to the composition. When I say the composition, it's not that I was judging people's compositions, but the set piece, the first song that each choir sang, the instruction was that after you finish singing the song, extend it. Do your own creation to extend the song for some number of minutes. So that is what I was interested in. Sometimes I thought that some of the compositions were nice, but you were lost. You know, the connection between what you have already sung and the extension was lost. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Every music is carried by 3 elements, basically, either melody, rhythm, or text. One of them, you know, it will spark the composition in the composer's head. We call it the topos, T-O-P-O-S, or in musical terms, we say a motif or something like that. So if it's toboli, there are ways that you can extend that idea, Because if I do something like this, pa, 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 there are ways that I can extend this topos, I can do pa, 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 pa. It's an extension, or pa, 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 pa. The second part is pa, 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 pa. I can do that to extend it, but if I do so many other things that were not in the original music, I would have gone out of it. And then sometimes people ended the song for a long time before they started the extension. When you do that, you disconnect from what's it. I think that choir number 12, I was not dealing with names, but just the numbers, did very well. Because once the song ended, they continue like it was an extension of the music. So in that case, I think that you have all done very well. And then the last thing is that Africans love drumming too much. It's not a bad thing. But anytime that we don't know where to go in music, then we resort to more interested in the voices and composition. But sometimes I think that drumming took too much of the singing time. When they ask you to extend a piece and you don't know what to say, then you put in drums, a lot of drums. And it reminds me of a joke that someone said, a certain composer in Ghana, they say, he's very good, he's ever. But when he composes the song and he doesn't know what words to use, then he starts saying, tegbe, 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 tegbe. It's a word that he likes using. So he uses it to just extend his piece. So we wanted you to do more singing than putting in too much drums and drama. So you have all done very well. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Distinguished guests and choirs, let me quickly join voices with my colleagues to say that all the choirs have done very well. You know, I teach composition in my department. And what I do all the time is I reward effort. If you come to my exam and you just write your name and walk away, submit your script with your name, I'll give you 1 mark for writing your name. It's an effort. Because the target is 100 marks. So others will get 90-something, 80-something, 70-something, but somebody will get 1 mark for writing his or her name on the script and going. Thank you for coming. Thank you for the effort. It's not expected that the 15 choirs will come first. It's also not expected that the 15 choirs will come last. Somebody will have to come first, or third, or fifth, or so. I'm not going to repeat what my colleagues have said. It will not give us time to go home and rest. I will look at a few other things that people don't really pay attention to when they correct choirs. One is what I call stage presence. It sounds strange. You know, when you appear on stage, there's a disposition you carry along. It's either you're frightened, or you're resolute, or you exude confidence, or you are just not there. You know, sometimes people don't even know why they appear in competitions. Probably the priest says if you don't go there, you will not get Holy Communion or something. So you just have to be there. Maybe people say we should come and sing. I'm here. So I saw a couple of choirs that just appeared without much confidence. And you see, when we talk about off-key singing, this is the background. When you don't have confidence in your line or lines, you tend to come to that song with fear, with some trepidation, with some level of discomfort. And it affects the singing. It affects the output. It then makes you, either you start hurrying, like I noticed in some of the songs, you are rushing it to be able to leave the stage because you don't want to be seen to be there fooling around. So you start hurrying and then you start making mistakes. So please pay attention to that disposition you carry onto the stage, whether you are coming with confidence or you are frightened. I will not say so much again on that. It's been talked about off-key singing, shouting, and all that. You know, I also noticed what I call stereotyped conducting or beating pattern. You know, somebody has learned how to do this. So any song that comes, because he or she cannot adjust or change, it's the same thing you're doing from the beginning to the end. If you go to your church, it's the same thing. Some people will do this. You know, we've talked about beating pattern. Conducting, like he said, I was telling those that came to my workshop session yesterday that conducting is a serious art. We start from first degree to master's to PhD. I have graduated some, I've examined some, and we know it's something serious. It's an art that you have to learn. You don't just come to competition and just feel like you go there and you'd be doing your hand. Some people will do this. So you don't even know where the accent comes, where the weak beat comes, or anything. It's not definite, like I've been writing. It's not precise. It's not clear. The luck some of them have is that they have flogged their singers through rehearsals for many months. that even if the conductor is not there, they will sing their song. So it's not the conductor actually conducting. But we examine the conductor because we want to be sure that you've learned that art, you know what you're doing on stage and how to present yourself. Please, like my Oga said, always find time, find somebody who has some level of learning in choir preparation to prepare you for competition. It's a competition. It's not something you just come, well, let's do it anyhow. You will fail and you will not be happy. Your people will not be happy. The church will not, anywhere you are, they will not be happy. It costs money to be here, so prepare yourself. Let's not waste time. I also noted, sadly, we have scarcity of males in choirs. I don't know why. It's growing by the day. I don't know whether it's biblical, because we hear that in the last days, 7 people, I don't want to say, will grab some people and say, let me answer your name. Please, it hasn't reached that point. Let the males come and sing and praise God. It's important. I just felt so sad that you have a barrage of women and maybe 3 or 4 males are struggling, particularly the bass part, struggling to complement them. It will not work. We talk about balance, blend. All those things are critical terms in music that we need forms of their expression in real terms. If you must have 7 sopranos, try and get at least 4 basses or 5, if you can. In South Africa, I know it's Katamia, you know, Black Mambazo. The basses are more than other singers. When they open their mouth, oh my God, it sounds like real depth of music. I watched them in Lady Smith. I watched them somewhere sometime in 1995, 1999. I was excited because the way they balance the parts, you cannot miss, particularly the foundation, which is the bass. It's there. And that brings me to what I have noticed this night. It's what we call Ojoro. I don't know, some of us who are Igbo here will know what Ojoro is. It's some level of fraud. Yeah, I will tell you that. Instead of having human voices sing the bass, most of the choirs relied on the keyboard to strengthen the bass. Is it not what happened? That is not accepted. In today's world, we rely on technology. In those days, when we were going on competition, there will be no stand of microphone anywhere. It is your voice, your natural gift. The choir will sing as a choir, not technology. Because what we heard tonight, you saw when a group came here to sing and the microphones fell off, they couldn't say anything. We couldn't hear anything. That's too bad. Please, choirs, when you prepare yourself, prepare as a choir, not studio. You know, no, it's not in music, we call them studio rats. That's not what we want to say here now. Because you're just relying on something else. You're not yourself. Please. Now, I also noticed formation on stage is a problem. Because you have a wide stage does not mean somebody will be here, another person will be here, another person will be here. That is not a choir. Blending and balancing in human form. Come together because the sound will have to come as a unified force. Not somebody is going that way. Otherwise, that's why you start shouting because you're not hearing yourselves well. Please let your formation be so good and tight. In those days, we do horseshoe formation. Is that what they call it? You have some kind of circle so that as this sound is coming, this is coming, they're going together. Not line of different villages. Hey, they've talked about choir balance. We don't want to waste time there. I've talked about reliance on keyboard for bass line, and then breath control and phrasing. That's another one. You know, most of them were youth, so they came with the strength of youth, and it is chap, 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 choop, chap, choop, chap. We need sustained blending lines that are united, not cut and join. You know, like we do in today's world. Nobody, even in text message, you can't have a sentence. It is something that looks like sentence. Everything is something that looks like something. Never what it is. So please, pay attention to what we call phrasing. How sound moves from one to another to constitute a phrase, even in sentence. When you make a sentence is made up of two phrases. So you put them together and you have a sentence. And that is important to us. It's not just anything goes. Let me give them time to talk. They are also knowledgeable. Thank you so much.
Good evening, and thank you for staying up to this moment. So I'm just going to emphasize a few points. I know my fellow adjudicators have gone technical, but I'll present my thoughts without repeating. The first thought that I'm going to talk about has to do with the philosophy behind the song. So the choirs had the benefit of being provided with some notes on what the song is all about. It's not essentially a lullaby, but it's a war song. You know, so understanding the mood would have helped in the way you interpret and perform the song. So we did see some choirs going the lullaby way, very soft, but the story doesn't end there. You know, there needed to be a bit more vigor, you know. It's a war song. You don't go to war feeling defeated, you know. So the philosophy behind the song and how that was supposed to be translated in the extended parts of the song. So what I saw was that some of the extensions were coming out as patching, you know, like you pick this idea, you pick this idea, and it has no relation to the original material that you're given. So when you have an opportunity to extend a song, you have to ride on the initial material that you were given. You kind of develop it with a bit of creativity. And Africa, we love repetition, you know. So if you are going to go there, Toboli, and then you have all this new material, the song is still supposed to be Toboli to the end. But what we saw were almost like a different composition altogether. And, you know, the sense of form was lost in the process. So I see the need to invest a bit more in understanding form and structure when it comes to composition. I think this is the challenge that this song presented. How well can you use the material that you've been given to develop a song? How creative can you be at the same time? And how can you still remind the audience that this is still Toboli? Because if you are asked to give a title to your part that you added, it will still be the same title. But it's the way you incorporate the text, the way you add to the rhythmic bite and the melody, they still have to bear resemblance to the original material that you were given. So how far can you go? How far can you depart from the material you are given? It's only courteous to ensure that you remain within the confines of the material you are given. The word is restrained freedom, you know. So yes, you've been given the freedom to add, but that freedom is still restrained because you have to maintain the philosophy that is carried within the song all the way. Then in terms of the mood of the song can still be maintained even in the midst of changing dynamics. I think dynamics for me was also another thorny issue, you know. So when you have the mood, which is dictated by the song as given in the meaning and the interpretation. But when you go loud or when you go soft, are you still maintaining the mood? So it almost felt like, because people were changing, the choirs were changing the mood, the dynamics, then they have to change the mood. You can still remain in a united mood and still apply dynamic variation. And I think lastly, I'll talk about, I think to me, what was an opportunity to rethink Africa Sings. So when you come on stage and you're representing Africa, what are the things you're supposed to think about? So Africa doesn't mean one thing. It means many things. But if you look at our music, there are things that are more common than uncommon that we can ride on in presenting and representing Africa. And I think this is a very important conversation. And we've seen that authentic is what is selling. If you are going to say you're doing African music, there are a lot of things you need to consider. Music today that is considered African has to do with countries that have remained authentic to their sonic world, to the sounds of their environment. So when you come and you want to extend a piece of song, or you are given the liberty to choose a song for Africa Sings, think about Africa and ask yourself, how would that sound? A lot of times when we do the Handels, the Beethovens or whatever other choral options that we have, we do not have the liberty to ask. It's dead people's music, that we're doing. But a lot of times, the music that is within the community, we can research a bit. We can talk to people and ask them, okay, when I'm about to do a song in this context, what should I do? How can I present it? So in essence, we are recreating our music. We are still preserving our music, because at the end of the day, that's what we have to do for Africa. Instruments. I think in this song, the guide was that as much as possible, try and use African instruments. We did see some of it, but I think sometimes it's a choice of convenience. The keyboard is very convenient. But listen, we have a duty beyond just using what is convenient. We have a duty to use our own instruments as much as possible. So thanks for those that did abide to the guide to use, I saw the xylophone, marimba. I saw some other combinations of instruments. So I think I'll end here, and I hope that usually the practice of choirs is once they leave the stage, they don't want to sit and listen to things that would build their choirs. I see very few choirs here, and if we were to ask how many choir directors are here, you'd be surprised that they're very few. And no wonder you keep seeing the same things over and over again. But please pay attention. It takes a lot of investment to be here, and if you can pick a few things to help you do better, I think it's worth it to learn. Thank you very much.
Good evening to everyone. We thank you very much for your patience and your time. This music is arranged by myself. But then, the dance I used to compose this song is called Agbaja Dance. Agbaja in Ewe means war cartridge or war belt. So it's a war dance. So choirs or choir masters should do research. If you are coming to such this kind of international competition, you have been given a piece, do research about the dance, do research about the music, how it is sung, and how it's supposed to be. The other item is that African music, or some key elements of African music, is intonation, speech, rhythm. If I say intonation, African languages are tonal languages. It's not like English, it's a father or whatever. But Africa, there are words that means many things depending on how the intonation goes. For instance, in the Ewe, you say Eto, it's E. Eto, mountain. Eto is gone out. Eto, mortar. The same word, but the intonation will give you the difference. So you must do research about the lyrics, because we have no choice or you have no excuse to give. Because I listened to a Korean choir singing Ghanaian song, I can sing perfectly. So as African, you must do well to learn about other cultures. As we are together over here, to use music to unite to each other, understand each other, and win for Africa. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Those are wonderful reviews from the adjudicators. What you see, there's one thing one of them have pointed out that I believe is more than important. You would not travel for a long distance and come here only to just compete and go out and not listen to what can make your choir better. I don't understand why a competitor, even in a football match, that is why you have round one, quarter-final. I mean, people listen. You hear the sport guys say, we are going back to the drawing board. This is exactly your drawing board as choristers, as choral group. These men here are professional in their own ramification. They are trying to educate you on what you need to do to improve your choir. You can't take these performances to the world stage. You can't. You can't. World choir games, European choir games, you can't take these performances there. You need high touch of professionalism. I use myself as an example. As an organist, I used to think I play quite very well until I had a teacher and he said, John, everything you are playing is zero. And we started all over again. Then I knew there is a lot of importance when you have to listen to people who know more than you. So, directors, you should at all times seek for knowledge when you have to go for competition. There's another day that says you don't go out without all your arsenal. You want to go for a fight and you do not go with enough weapon. You can never win that fight. Your weapon are people who can help you get better. Thank you everyone for staying tuned. Our adjudicators, we can